doing all this business stuff and whatnot, and doing all this community work, we're not doing family work. You gotta really get in tune with really getting back to the family. Like, sit down with your family. You need the space, you need the time, and you need some food.
It ain't that hard to get family together.
Yeah, I'm just tryna run a checkup like a doctor. All of them are acting, need an Oscar. I just want a couple grand and make the family proud. I'm sick of penny pinching like a foster. I need some pension off these writtens. They always want a discount, but don't add on to my distance. I do this all in love, and best believe it's still a business. Can't flip.
Welcome to another edition of the Lead Your Lineage podcast, our number one podcast for families seeking to end generational dysfunction. What up, cuz?
Nothing much, man. You know what it is, man. You know what it ain't, man. You know, have another good one, man. Another lineage leader, man. Let me tell y'all
Most
something,
definitely.
man. We first, man.
A true inspiration.
Yeah, a real one, man. He really doing things out here, man. And I really rocks with him, man. But let me tell y'all this story, man. First, man, you know, he took our picture at Black Joy, the first Black Joy. What was that? 2024, I believe.
23.
23.
Yep.
Yep. And we took that picture. It's the picture that we use right now on our YouTube, and it's the picture of me and Cuz and the Lead Your Lineage shirts. And we got our ancestors right there, man. It's one of the dopest pictures, man. And that's when I met him.
That was the Juneteenth event.
That was the Juneteenth.
Yeah, that was Juneteenth event. Yeah.
So that's why you probably don't remember. I keep saying it was Juneteenth.
Juneteenth. Yeah.
Now you know what picture I'm talking about. Did he take that picture for a fact? I'm like, damn. Okay, maybe he did. Okay, yeah. Okay, so yeah, it was Juneteenth then. My fault. So it was at the Juneteenth event. We use that picture to this day, man. So that's when I met him. But this how we connected, man. We went to that was Melanin in May, right? This year, and when I first got on the phone, my mom like, yeah, man, something, yeah, they got a picture of you. I'm like, man, it just went through one ear out the other. It was like, oh, okay, like a picture, you know what I mean? Just a picture. I'm like, oh, okay, somebody took a picture. I'm thinking like maybe I'm in the back of somebody's picture walking past. You know what I mean? That's what I'm thinking. Like, oh, okay, they probably got me in the back of somebody's picture, man. So, and she's like, yeah, look good. You look good. And I'm like, dang, okay, mama, thanks. Then somebody else told me. Then my cousin Joy, she sent it to my wife. Then that's when I got a hold of it. I said, man, hold on, who took this picture? And everybody tagged Wildstyle, man, and that's how we connected. Man, I said, damn, man, and I started watching what he was doing on the book, seeing what he posts himself, you know, what he portrays himself on the book. You know, I got to meet him in real life, you know what I mean? And I really rocks with you, so I like what he was going, you know, what he represent, man. He active. You know, in the community. That's the word I like to use. He active in the community. He really doing things.
Sure. Absolutely.
He's not just talking about it. He's being about it, man. He protesting, trying to change these laws. He's really out here, man. He be letting you know what's going on.
True advocate, for sure.
If you gonna go out if you gonna go out downtown, you need to make sure you need to know some information, man. Only thing you gotta do is go to Wildstyle page if you in Indianapolis, man. He gonna let you know what's going on for real, man.
One of the best historians to ever do it.
Yeah, man. So that's why I feel like we had to get you on this podcast. As soon as I start following you, I'm like, man, bro, dope. You know what I mean? I'm like, okay, he's just. And the pictures he taking are dope. Like the pictures he took of me and my kids will forever be lived and forever be it's memorial. So you not only putting work in the streets, you got you're an artist as well. So you got something behind, cause that's art, bro.
Thanks,
I mean,
man.
I know you know that, but I'm just letting them know, you know, that's art, you know. Having that much, you know, skill work with a camera and all of that, man. So yeah, you know, if there's anything I missed, man, go ahead and introduce yourself, man, and I'm going to shut up from here.
Oh, man, I appreciate it on Wildstyle. I do a whole bunch of different things, photography, skating, writing. I've written some articles. Used to be a music producer, but I just don't have as much time for that as much anymore, and talking a lot of smack on the internet.
Ain't nothing wrong with it.
I mean, that pretty much sums up me. So you're gonna get a little bit of all of that.
Yeah.
Absolutely, man. Let's dive right into it, man. You and I, we've interacted for some years now. cross paths in many different meetings, conversations, social media, all that good stuff. When it's all said and done, I want to build it from where you want to be to where you are now. We'll walk everybody down to how phenomenal you are now. When it's all said and done, what do you want the people to remember you for?
I want people to remember me for helping things change. I don't want to be remembered if nothing's changed. It's like, well, Wildstyle said this was this, that, and everything's still like that. I'm gonna be disappointed. But if people are gonna remember me, I want it to be because like I helped change things, made things better, helped inform the community so that we could advocate for change and change the scope of things. Because I know I've sat in a room with like young folks, and I call young folks like anybody under 30 at this point. Mm-hmm. And like had to apologize. Like, I'm sorry for the way my generation and the previous generations left this world for y'all. So I'm trying to, hopefully I get something done, and hopefully people will remember like, yeah, I was out here like really fighting to try to inform and advocate and hold people accountable.
Absolutely, man. With that being said, we heard your heart in that dialogue and that piece right there, right? So what does your day-to-day look like in terms of helping people?
So I do a little bit of everything. I'm a community advocate is what I would describe myself. So I work with an organization called the Learning Tree. We are an asset-based community development organization, which I know it almost could sound corporate, but it's not. It's about getting to know your neighbors and knowing the gifts and talents of your neighbors in your community, and then figuring out a way to put that to use, how to connect people, how to make positive change, multiply goodness in the world. With that, we also work with the Indianapolis Foundation, which is every city has a community foundation that like basically all the rich families that honestly have gotten their money through any type of means, and some of it is not necessarily good. They usually have they don't have their own family foundation. They put it into the city, a community foundation that's usually for each city. And they have different names and stuff, and they're all ran different, but we work with that, the Indianapolis Foundation here, and the Central Indiana Community Foundation as well. And then everything else is really just me being me in terms of like art, music, and culture and stuff, like documenting that, participating to a certain extent. Like I would say the one thing like I participate in that is, like really authentically in my entire life has really been skating. Like I've been a skater off and on for my entire life. That's like my earliest memories is at the rink and stuff. So that's like one of the places I do go out there, and typically, especially now, I used to run a skate club and we mentor young people, but at like this stage in the game, now just come out there for me. That's the one time I'm usually just doing me. I'm not trying to run a skate club anymore and all that. And so I did it, and I learned a lot. That's what helped me do a lot of things in the world, was that experience, and really got me connected and understanding how to connect with community. But when I left to kind of go do music, and when I came back, I'm like, look, I'm doing the community advocacy piece out in the world, and so I'm not going to spend as much time letting another generation worry about the rink. So.
No, real talk. Cause I know you got questions.
Yeah,
I hear them over here. I hear them.
What's your backstory, man? What pushed you into wanting to fight for the community? Wanting to actually, what was that time when you saw and was like, click, damn, my community need help, because a lot of times it don't click in us. So what's your backstory? How was you growing up, and what made you become the man you are today?
So it's interesting. So like I come from 3 generations that I know of Christian ministers. And I only found out like in 2020 that my great grandfather, who even I think my mom, she would have met him like as a small child, but she didn't remember him. But I found out that he was a minister, and I knew my grandfather was a minister, and then my dad is an elder in a Jehovah's Witness congregation and all that, and so is my little brother as well. So, like, I come from a very religious Christian upbringing, background, and just like generational, like that. But I'm not a Jehovah's Witness. I'm nominally a Christian. I'm a Jesus-loving agnostic. I don't think that God's tripping about all this mess that they said he's tripping about. And when Jesus came down here, he ain't talk about all the stuff that Christians be talking about today. And he had 3.5 years to do it, like when he did his ministry. So anyway, long story short, like I think it was some of that. I could say like the teachings of Jesus, like not necessarily Christianity, but the teachings of Jesus. And then like my father and my mother, like they were giving people. Now they still quite judgmental, but they were very giving people. And I guess as I got out into the world and like started getting an understanding of why things were a certain way, which was not always, they didn't understand like why other people were having trouble. They had made broad assumptions about, well, they not living right, or they just don't care, this and that. And when I got out into the world and got to meet people and seeing people personally, I discovered that it was like a whole system of stuff that, I mean, sure, people made mistakes, but it was a whole system keeping you in spaces. Like once you make your first mistake, like you're gonna pretty much, for a lot of people, you're gonna be there. And you have people that can get out of it, but a lot of people, once you make one mistake, it's over. Like you stuck in the path. And I'm not just talking about like being a felon, like, which is like having a imprint on your head, like in terms of getting a job, in terms of finding an apartment or something like that. But I'm talking about like any type of mistake, like, and especially with black folks. Like I look at some of the courses that what I chose at 14 or 15 years old, which was to go and take automotive classes in high school. And I graduated at the top of my class in high school. My name is on the Walker Career Center, hanging up as Industrial Student of the Year in some faraway year, a long time ago. And then I was a 21st Century Scholar, and I went to Ivy Tech, and I graduated at the top of my class there. But had I chose something different or whatever, I don't know, I wouldn't have been able to support myself. Like, I wouldn't have been able to do a lot of this stuff. Not that I made that much money for it, but everybody always need a mechanic, right? So, so I could do some things. I had a little bit of flexibility. Like, I had a job that I hated, and the job hated me, but we had a mutually beneficial relationship where, like, I was the only person that could do Cadillac transmissions in the shop. So I had to put up with them, but they also had to put up with me, and I was not a necessarily good employee. I'll be honest with you. Like, I mean, it was what it was, but so I mean, we look at those decisions, and we expect a 14-year-old to go choose his college, his vocational path for the rest of his life. And if he chooses wrong, like you might just sentence yourself, a 14-year-old might have just sentenced himself to poverty for the rest of his life in this system.
Man. And that's one thing I'm big on, man. It's like we get kids at 18 and we tell them make life decisions that's going to significantly impact your life. When all the way till you was 18, you've been low-key babied. You know what I mean? You've been told what to eat, how to eat, what time to go to school, what time to go to this class, what time to go to that class. And that's why I'm big. I'm real big on making my kids know how to speak, saying what they do and don't like, say, have that intuition to know how to make choices. Say, no, I don't like this, but I do like that. You know who you are. And the best way to make choices is to know who you are, to be honest. So that's why I push a lot, man. I teach my kids to make choices all day long. On Fridays, we wake up, and I tell them, eat whatever you want to eat. And I told this story once, but I'm going to tell you, man, and this is a lesson my daughter learned. It was one Friday a couple years ago. I told my daughter to eat whatever she want, and she ate nothing but snacks. And I said, and me and my son, I didn't have my daughter at the time, my youngest daughter. Me and my son, he was born a vegan, so he was he really don't like all that sweet stuff. So he was eating apples and all of that. And my daughter was eating all the cookies and all that, and I was just looking at her, and then she said, "Daddy, my stomach hurt." I said, "Dang, man, why your stomach hurt?" She said, "I don't know, Daddy." I said, let's Teron, your stomach hurt? I said, my stomach don't hurt either. It's probably something that you ate. She said, yeah, Daddy, I think it is. I said, what did you eat? I said, oh, you been eating all that junk food all day. That's why your stomach hurt. That's choices. Now she know.
Yeah.
I got to make the right choices. I tell her all the time, don't rely on me. I tell my kids all the time, don't rely on me to make your choices. You live your own life.
I think that enough parents don't think about doing that for their children, giving them the opportunity to fail.
Yeah.
You need to fail. You need to fall to learn how to walk. Like, or you ain't doing nothing. And I think a lot of, especially in my generation, like a lot of parents was afraid to not have that guiding hand. Like, oh, you got to get out and do this, and you got to be good in school so somebody else will hire you and this, and you'll be desirable to employers and all this other stuff. Yeah. Like, this was what I grew up with, and I, not to say that there was some value in that for some people, but it isn't in everybody, and it also kind of bred a generation of people that just felt like, well, everybody else was supposed to be the entrepreneur. Everybody else was supposed to be making the decisions. Everybody else was supposed to do something, and a lot of us didn't feel like we had any agency. Like in my era, there were very few protests, and things was bad. Not as bad as now, but things was bad. Things was inequitable. We were losing a lot of our black neighborhoods back then, but there was enough of us that was content thinking like, oh, well, we on the track to get one of them decent paying jobs that we ain't worried about this, and the Negroes that they ain't on that path, well, they just don't care. Yeah. And I felt like that. That's what I was taught at the time, and looking back and getting more understanding of the world and seeing, hindsight's 2020, you realize, oh man, we was being duped. We was also being kind of like just groomed to be subservient and try to be good employees to somebody.
That's the whole time.
Yeah, I think you and I were talking about this off camera one time. I think 100 years ago, like our people were thriving on Indiana Avenue, and it wasn't a majority of us working jobs. Like people had jobs and whatnot, but we had our own like family businesses essentially.
Tons, beyond. And I'm not saying this to disparage anybody, but beyond hair care and soul food restaurants, like they was building whatever white businesses exist today. There was black businesses back then.
Yes. Vacuum cleaners, carpeting companies, bricklayer, everything, and but they was working together. And my biggest issue, man, I'm gonna say this, man. I feel like problem is today, man, we expecting too much from them. We expecting them to act a certain way when we've been against this been happening since BC times, bro. However you BC times, like it's documented that we've been having conflict with these people since BC time, and I feel like we don't understand that, and we don't understand that it's a war, whether they want to admit it or not. I understand it's a war, because if it wouldn't be a war, if my people are starving, our people are low in every statistic. We don't own homes, businesses, jobs, everything. We got the most STDs, all this stuff, man. So you telling me it ain't no war? I know a war when I see a war.
It's an economic war, and when you have capitalism the way it is, and I know it's a lot of black capitalists out there, but I'm gonna say it, like, when you have capitalism, somebody's got to be on the bottom end of this cast.
They do.
And black people, since historically it was like, even after they freed us, we was at the bottom end, and so somebody's got to do the work.
Yep.
Somebody's got to get exploited.
Yep.
Somebody's got to not have land so that the landlords can make money.
Yep.
That's capitalism. And one of my biggest issues, and I think this is one of the things that really destroyed black progress, is the fact that in the late 70s and 80s and early 90s that the black middle class grew up big enough, fast enough, and benefited enough off of it. They bought into the whole capitalism thing, and when we started really believing, it's about merit and that you work hard, and you're going, well, some people worked hard, but a lot of people, they got handed stuff. They got handed opportunities that other people just weren't going to get. And enough of us thrived, and then as they cut back, they started trimming the fat, like with everybody. Like the white middle class has shrunk dramatically as well. They started trimming the fat back. We got trimmed a lot more, of course. And now we back at, not as bad as it was in 30s and 40s, but we pretty bad off. Like, you look at the home ownership rates in Indianapolis, Indiana right now, they are like 20% lower than it was when they assassinated Dr. Martin Luther King in 1968.
Yep.
That's also the same year that they outlawed redlining, which was the banks legally discriminated against you. So we're worse off now than we were, but when there was actual legal discrimination on the books at the banks. And so a lot of that was us buying into this whole system. Like, this system wasn't built for us. Capitalism is what created slavery. The ideal that slavery had existed, but the ideal that somebody would be chattel property, and then their kids would be chattel property, and their kids' kids, and their kids' kids. That was American capitalism. Even the British got rid of slavery a whole generation before the United States did.
That's spot on. He spoke. You was about to say something? Go ahead.
Yeah. And you was talking about Well, first, let me get this off my head. And they always talk about slavery, man. Slavery was happening to us black folks all the way in 631 AD, first of all. And we made this back off and the whole country is literally, look, Russia was ruling. It was one of the biggest countries. If you look economically, this is real. What made America great? The cotton, all the cotton it was getting. It was a big car. I'm not even lying. This is real, true fact.
It is. It made us a superpower. We made
a superpower and all of that. But this is what I want to get to, though. You was talking about back in the Martin Luther King days and all that, and that's when the home ownership shrunk and all that. I want to ask you this. How do you feel about this? Because this is what we feel. This is how we feel here at Lead Your Lineage. I want to ask you how you feel about this intake. How do you feel about the families? Because if you look back in those times and all of that, and you look at another key, I know a lot of keys we had businesses and everything, but I feel like one major key was that we had our families together. And that's what we stand here for. So how do you feel about that? Do you feel like do you feel like the families had any type of impact, or?
I think yes and no. So I've looked at it statistically, and statistically things are not much different.
Yeah.
Back then, basically people got away with a lot more stuff that they can't get away with. Like my great grandfather, so my dad's from a town, Fulton, Kentucky.
Yeah.
And then there's a road, the state line road, and there's South Fulton, Tennessee.
Yeah.
So my great grandfather had a family in Fulton, Kentucky, but he also had a family in South Fulton, Tennessee.
That's everybody. That's
everybody, Grandpa.
I swear.
So,
Everybody, Grandpa.
Oh man.
So it was crazy. So my grandmother, who married my grandfather, she said, well, she lived next to his other family on the other side, and everybody on that side thought he was married to her. But on the Fulton side, everybody thought he was married to my great grandma. And when my great grandma died, we found out he definitely wasn't married to her, because her name was not. They had to put the Fischel on the end, tacked it on the end of the obituary, but her legal name was Ada Mae White.
Oh man!
But the whole town. So I think a lot of perceptions of what we thought was family back then is not necessarily. And then my grandma, her mother, she was married to my other great grandfather for a while, but she ran off to St. Louis and had a whole nother family, and didn't basically abandon my grandma. And other people raised her. So I think the concept of family and what we see is like what we call broken homes today. In my experience, at least with my family, and then with all the stories that I know about those towns and all of our other families, those so-called broken homes have always been like that. And I think some of that is generational trauma, slavery. Your families were getting sold apart, and so they made family with whoever was around, right? Yeah. And so I think there's an element to that. Also, which is a very ugly situation, is like the domestic violence, domestic abuse type of thing, where people would stay married on paper, or they would stay married in real life and just get beat on. Yeah. And I think that's a little bit less common today, but it's still pretty common. And so I think family-wise, I don't think we've eroded the family that much, but we certainly have eroded the means of black men to support their families. Like black men are making so much less money comparatively to everybody else in a lot of different fields, to where we're not as able to support our family, even though back then it was bad. Things are not gotten any better for us now. And so I think that impacts some things. And I also think like everything's just stricter now. Like you can't, when back in those days when you didn't have enough money to take care of everything, you tough it out, but you didn't have to worry about CPS coming in and taking your kids because you're poor, which is usually one of the biggest reasons CPS is going to come in and do something to you.
Yeah, and this is why, I feel like families have an impact. Because if you look back, especially before slavery, we always looking at slavery. When we ruled the world, quote unquote, everything was ran by family. We did it in a family structure. That family structure was more complex. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Before you get to slavery, and and I do feel like, and I don't even feel like it's a fact, man. It's you can look at it. See, a lot of people, bro, who broken in these black males who broken and going through these struggles in life is a lot of times coming through a broken home.
Yeah.
You know what I mean, bro? Me and Cuz is totally different, man. We lived a totally different lives. You know what I mean? I always tell him, what I always tell you, Cuz, you better thank Butch. I don't care if he not here or not, man. Every day you better thank Butch, man, because not having that
Shout out to
dad
my
instruction,
pops.
you know what I mean? You grew up with your dad, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Imagine not having your pops, and you got to teach yourself how to be a man, and you go through daily life struggles, and that's why a lot of our people out here broken, man. We need that father figure. So I feel like, man, I don't even feel like I know. Like I look at my son, I be like, damn, this would be me if I had a pops, man. He 4. He know how to spell his name, write his name down. He doing math.
Yeah.
He doing math. He can
Super
read.
intelligent.
He
Lil'
can
cut,
read
super
3-letter
intelligent.
words. You know, he got problems when he going past 3. I ain't gonna stunt. He get the fumbling jumbling right now. He don't understand the phonics and all that yet. But he getting there, and he only 4. You know what I mean? He know how to read time on the analog, the all the clocks. So I feel like that father figure will help, because I look at all my, man, 90% of my guys is dead, and I look at 90% of my guys, at least 80% of them guys didn't have an active father, or probably even more, to be honest. Off the top of my head, I can't name one that had a father that I didn't met. So, that's why,
That's real, man. I think the strength of this conversation is it's three brothers having a conversation about family and the things that we observed growing up and the things that we want to make better because we have a heart to help people. And I can say from my perspective, I've had a lot of support in my life from men. But I also see on the other aspect of it, there's a lot of people that I'm around that didn't. And I used to take that for granted. I used to take that for granted. I keep it all the way a buck with y'all. And I don't anymore. Because I understand the power of that and this is, I think I said this on the previous episode, I'm going to point a finger at oppression, and I'm also going to point a finger at myself too. I'm not going to blame. I'm not going to give them power to not control the life when I can say no or say yes now. I'm grown. You know what I'm saying? But I can see the dynamic of when you do have that support and you have the opportunity to rebel too, because you grown. Like you grown ass men.
Yeah,
You like you said earlier in the episode, choices.
Choices.
You got choices to make. But there's also a whole cognitive process you have to go through and endure as a human being, living this experience and whatnot. And I ain't gonna get into all the technical details of that. But there's a way to be able. There's a way of journeying as a man. But but being a man isn't a monolith. There's many different aspects of manhood. So Wildstyle, my question to you, what is your definition of manhood?
Man, taking care of others, taking care of your responsibilities, first of all. I think first and foremost, like that, making sure that, like, if you're responsible for people, that you are taking care of them people, even when it gets tough. I think one of the things I always remember growing up, me and my dad didn't always get along, but one of the things I remember growing up was, when he lost his job, man, he took these terrible jobs. I remember one time he was driving every day to Bloomington, Indiana to go, like, I forgot what he said he was doing. It was like putting some plastic pieces together and this and that. And it just sucked, but my dad, like, to make sure, like, we all good and he could make sure, we've got what we needed and keep not just a roof over our head, but like a standard, that he wanted us to have that was reasonable. He went out and did this, and he found another job, and he would keep on, and I, as an adult, I've been in stressful financial situations as a single person, and I can't imagine what he was thinking, like having to go do that, because the little brother that is he's got Down syndrome and severe autism. And so my mom couldn't really go out and work full time. She could work like part time, but she had to help take care of my little brother. So a lot of this, like the financial burden, like was on him, and he got out there, and I think he was sometimes a little gruff, but now being at my age and realizing like how difficult that was, I'm like, dang, like that man was really just put his helmet on and was just went to work, like it wasn't complaining and all of this and that. I mean, that's to me, that was powerful image of being a man.
That's dope.
That's beautiful.
And I want to take it back, man. I want to take it back to what we was previously talking about, man, because I got something to ask you about this, man. So what do you feel like it would be as a whole, as a collective? And I always say this, take your personal opinion out. I'm not your personal opinion, your personal feelings. So, like, not saying that we all need to find Jesus or we all need to find Buddha. I'm saying, what do you feel like we all can do as a whole, as black people? The next step, what do you feel like the next step will be for us to move that needle forward?
To knock the table over.
How would we do that?
By any means necessary. What's going on? I see is a lot of gaslighting. People coming to our communities, coming to our neighborhoods with all sorts of initiatives, and sometimes bringing our black politicians, pastors, I dare say, with them to tell us what they doing for us, and they ain't doing a damn thing.
Agree.
In a capitalist society, there's only so much that we can do. You can only rub two wooden nickels together so much before you start a fire.
Yeah.
Yep.
And I think as a whole, I mean, unfortunately, we're going to have to demand our just dues. We built this country.
Yep.
We continue to build this country.
For sure.
And we need our fair share of the resources from it to go fix our communities that many times they let us build up and then they took from us, like Indiana Avenue. One of the things about Indiana Avenue was that didn't belong to white people first. Like it belonged to Native Americans, and the Native Americans didn't even live on it. They hunted there. So the first people to actually live on Indiana Avenue was black and Eastern European people, immigrants that they didn't consider white. So we built this, and then they took it from us. So I would say we're going to have to demand our stuff back.
That's sound.
I agree.
That's
I like
solid
that.
too. And I think I asked shout out to Mr. J too. Gonna get him on the podcast. He 83 years young, man. He was telling me a lot about Indiana Avenue from his experience. And I did a walk and talk on Indiana Avenue. And at the end of it, I ended up talking to a couple of the elders that still live there in the neighborhood, just to get their experience on what's going on. And it was, they had some amazing stories. Man. This was probably like 3 years ago, 4 years ago. And Mr. J was telling me about telling me about a nightclub. It was like a drugstore, and it was a nightclub. They went down into it. They had to go down the basement. It was like some double doors, and it was a nightclub. He said it's still there on West Street.
Okay.
It's not like active or anything, but he's like it's still there. And just to hear that wisdom, that whole conversation was like a podcast episode on its own. To be honest with you, it was a beautiful conversation. And when we look at life as we were taught, and then we really go back to the origin of where these stories are coming from, and really talk to the people that went through it. How can we as a community document our stories better to be able to keep in the back of my mind, like by any means necessary, but also these means that we have to go through what's necessary to get through it?
I mean, one of the ways that we have to start right at is not just remembering the past in Indiana Avenue, because IU and Purdue have carved that up 10 different ways, and they done ate it for lunch, and now they regurgitated it and giving Purdue some by itself and 16 Tech and all that. What we really got to do, in my opinion, is we got to value our communities now. With all this stuff, when I, as a historian, when I go look at the old Indianapolis Recorder, that's our historic black newspaper here.
Yeah, one of the oldest in the country.
Yep. And when you look at the headlines on there, it read the myth of Indiana Avenue, and it was a great place, but it was a black neighborhood of today. You look in there and it was violence running rampant, teens doing this, prostitution, all sorts of stuff going on that they were talking about. And at the time, I think there was a lot of people that did value it and understood, but it was a lot of people that also disvalued it the same way we disvalue our neighborhoods today, and we act there's nothing going on there. And now that Indiana Avenue's gone, and it's particularly that white people love the music that we created there, it's this amazing thing. But when it was going on, they was trying to end it the whole time, just like they're trying to end our neighborhoods now. And I think we have to look at and value ourselves right now, not just the past. What we doing right now has value, has merit. We're incredible people. We're an incredible culture, and we keep exporting it to the world. And that they eat off of us, and while we don't see value in it, and that's purposeful. They don't. Being in the hip hop scene, and it's not all white folks that were in the hip hop scene. There was a lot of great white folks in the hip hop scene, but I noticed a lot of white folks in the hip hop scene that they were connoisseurs. Some of them were rappers, and they love hip hop. They love certain rappers, and they hate niggas. They hate us, that. That I done unfriended so many of them because some of them was slick about it, and I go read the comments and found out they voted for Trump and all this other stuff, and I'm been hitting that unfriend button left and right and everything. Like white boy, you eating off of our culture, you want in the game and all this, but this is what you doing for us. But that they don't see value in the rest of us, outside of what we can produce artistically that they enjoy or they can steal, and that's unfortunate. But we've got to see that value.
Yeah,
that's
I agree.
That's good.
I agree about the value thing, because that's what had us. Everybody study different times and eras. I see you study more up to date things. I study more. What's past and before slavery, because I was always very curious, and that's what I see was keeping us slaves. See, a lot of people keeping us free. A lot of people think that we would stop fighting, but we didn't stop fighting until they took that pride, until they took that love we have for each other, until they made us want to start having straight hair. When we start hating ourselves and calling ourselves dark, and starting caring about more light skinned people, and that it took when they took who we were and the pride of being us, the things that makes us, and they made it something that we hate. I see where you connecting that at, and that's where it all started, man. We not in the present moment. The present moment is the best moment. We're not in the present moment because we always looking at the past or the future, trying to worry about where we at. But like you said, man, we gotta focus on that.
Yeah, we gotta. I see so much of where we don't value ourselves and each other, even generationally. I'm at the age where I'm seeing all the people that's my age and really even younger, they trash the new generation for the way they dress, for the way they talk, the way
we made
the music.
The new generation.
Yeah, exactly. We made the generation.
We raised them. We guiding them. We teaching them how to move, and we their resources.
And then I would say in 5 to 10 years, and some of it even now, the culture that these we call them young niggas is creating is making money. Like you can say you don't like the music, but people are buying it. Like they doing this, and so it's like but this is what my parents did to me. I remember my dad telling me, "Oh, this had to have been in the late '80s," and he says, "You know, it was some rap music that it was finally on the radio because for a while the radio stations in here stopped playing rap music. That's a whole nother thing." But they played it when it first came out, and then it was like about 5 to 7 years they cut it.
Damn.
WTLC, which is at the time it was Power 105.7 and everything, but they were the main station. But yeah, they cut it. But I remember something came on the radio, and my dad was like, son, that's not real music, and this and that, and it's not. This isn't going to be here much longer. This was in the '80s, late '80s, still here.
What you say? Yeah, this is real music. Just because you ain't bopping to the
exactly,
beat, don't mean it ain't a beat.
I mean, but that was literally the impression back then. Like I remember. It wasn't until 1992, and y'all probably too young to remember this, but Crazy Bill Shirk.
Man, you look young, man. I tell you that.
Okay, well, I appreciate it.
Talking about the 80s and shit. I'm like, goddamn, bro older than what I thought he was.
I'm a little bit older, a lot bit older, but
nothing wrong with it. You still looking young, brother.
But Crazy Bill Shirk bought 96.3.
Yeah.
And he started playing hip hop, and it forced WTLC 105.7, and now Radio 1 own all of them, but it forced them to start playing rap music again because they had stopped for like the last 5 to 7 years.
Wow.
Did that? I wonder, was that only an Indiana thing?
No, it was. Now I don't know how true it is because people here take credit for a lot of stuff, but they said that it happened all over the country, but they said it started here.
Well, you know everything. That stuff like that started here in Indiana.
True,
the Ku Klux, they say the Ku Klux Klan started here in Indiana.
It didn't. It did. It did
mean?
not. It was Arkansas, but
I don't know.
I got a question for you to go back on something we spoke about earlier. You said you do work with Learning Tree and the Indianapolis Foundation. Y'all work with the Indianapolis Foundation from a perspective of family business and things of that nature. How can we as Black people, melanated people, African Americans, foundational Black Americans, things of that nature, wherever you identify as, how can we create our own foundation? And based on the work you've been doing and how they've been setting things up, should we even go that route?
I love that question, and yes.
Kansas, give us a game, big dog.
Kansas City has a Black community foundation, and I think the money is with the regular community foundation, because how community foundations work is basically, lack of a better term, it's like a big money laundering scheme, right? Legal money laundering.
Yeah,
So what you do is you register it. It's a foundation. The legal requirements, I think, for it to be a foundation is it has to give out a certain percentage of the money that it's got in there every year, and you invest the rest. And so I've said this for a long time, like if Madam Walker had left the building and a foundation to take care of it and the nearby area, Indiana Avenue might still be there. And certainly the building wouldn't be owned by IU and them running it the way they please. There's other places that, there are basically Black community foundations, and they worry about, they put money back into the Black community. We do not have that here. There have been some people that have tried, and we are also talking and trying to facilitate and push that along, because we do need one that actually takes care of us. Because one of the things, so in 2019, they made the big announcement, and it was a mission change at the CICF, Indianapolis Foundation, whatever it's really the same thing, but to hear them tell it, it's not. It's a long story, but it is effectively the same thing. And they had a mission statement, mission change in 2019, and this is when we all were formally announced as ambassadors. And the president, CEO of the time, he made some highly controversial remarks, and they were like, did he misspeak and all this? And he said that for 100 years, that the Central Indiana Community Foundation has been a white power organization.
I remember that.
And it is now time for us to share that power.
I remember that.
Because the reality was that a lot of these community foundations, and especially ours, they did good for white folks, but they didn't do very well for blacks. And it wasn't that they didn't give any money, but they didn't take the time to be in relationship with the black community to understand what's really effectively helping us and supporting our goals versus what some white folks at a desk thought Negroes need, which is usually more education. That's what they always think we need.
Now we had this discussion on the podcast. I want to see your thoughts about it, since you be in the spaces you are in. How do you feel on, do we need, quote unquote, more black politicians?
Yes, because the ones we have, almost all of them need to go. I mean, we do not have.
And what kind of, not only that, I didn't mean to cut you off, but I want to expand the question too. Do we need more, and what characters and what do we need to look for into these people to vote for them?
No, that's a good question. I'm going to say we do need more black politicians, because I'm going to say 80% of the ones now need to be gone.
Yeah.
Like pack your bags, clean off your
state level and federal,
state, federal, local, and I'm talking
local,
and definitely local too. That we have not had decent leadership since they killed Martin Luther King. I'm gonna be honest with you. I think things weren't quite as bad right after he died, but by the 80s and 90s, these Negroes have been selling us out. Local, state, federal. There is hardly. It's probably like a handful of black Congress people that I think have been effective and working hard for the black community. It's not very many. At a state level, well, in Indiana, is none, right?
There's a handful.
There's a handful, but in particularly, and I've been very blunt about this. The Indiana Black Legislative Caucus is a body, and there are some good people in there. But as a body, as all of the black legislators in Indiana, they're trash, terrible. Don't do nothing, make excuses. Some of them spend all their time harassing white women, which leads them to be blackmailed to where they can't do anything for my district or your district or anybody's district. Yeah. At a local level, our city council is most of the black people on Indianapolis City Council are incompetent, not working for the black community, not doing much of anything. So yeah, we need new black politicians. I don't necessarily know if we need more, but we need some to replace this crop that we've got now.
Now I want to expand that question too, from your perspective. And shout out to your podcast, to the Black Briefing.
Thank you.
Shout out to
that's Samantha. Does the work. She the producer and does a lot of work for that. So.
Y'all ain't tuned in, make sure y'all check that out too. Let me get your perspective on this. Would it be more beneficial to black people to put our energy to create new politicians or to create a new system for us to operate in? Because regardless, we in war regardless.
Yeah.
We in war regardless. So what would be more beneficial in terms of our capacity and energy being expended?
I don't think that we can create a new system without having politicians to lead it. So we're stuck in the framework until we can find people that can take us out of the framework, and that's going to take politics, like getting involved in, like, I mean, for example, like you can only do so much. Like I remember people talking about folks buying a town and all this stuff in Georgia, which it still came with its own laws. Like, well, because I researched it because I was like, oh man, I'm excited. I'm like, man, maybe I need to go do that. But at the end of the day, even that, it was a better situation because the town legally had a black mayor and everything else. But at the end of the day, it's still subject to politics. And so as much, and I hate it, but we've got to get into politics and we have to be more aware and also hold each other accountable. Like I think a lot of black folks in politics or near politics have gotten a pass because they're black and we should just accept that they're there and give them a break and quit bothering them and this and that and understand, like, no. They need to be held accountable. And I think a lot of them get away with more than white politicians get away with. Because white folks, they ain't got none of that. They like, you did what? You not doing nothing for our community?
Yeah, they don't play that.
Like, get your ass out of here.
Yeah, they don't play that shit. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think we don't, like you said, we don't see the significance of people actually doing for us. We always want to. I feel like we want to include everybody. We want to say, oh, we can't do that. We got to include everybody. We can't just have a all black a city where we're not accepting nobody. We got to include everybody. No, man, we got to play the game. The game is the game, and the game is the black chess pieces fight on the black chessboard. The white chess pieces fight on the white chessboard. It's the game. It's not. We gotta accept what it is. Like you said, we gotta play this game to get out the game. In order to play this game, every other race don't be eating with every other race. Every race eat by themselves. Chinese, they eat with Chinese. They got Chinese restaurants. You know what I mean? Mexicans, Mexican restaurants, Mexican plazas, and all that. We need to start having our own stuff. Stop buying this chicken from them. Stop doing all that. We got to start being okay with being black. And
be okay with being.
We gotta be
that
okay.
might be the title, cuz.
We gotta start being okay with being black. Like legit. We gotta accept the fact that ain't nothing else but us. We gotta create politics because that's why I always felt like we have to have these politics in order. Because I was big on like that too. We go good to this land, right? And we own all this land, we think all that, but we still in America, bro.
Yeah.
So they can still come and use their military and come with the military, bro. They don't even got to come with the police. They can come with the army, bro, and blow us up. You know what I mean? We can't just build our own shit and think that they not going to come and try to kill us, bro. We gotta really
doing that without us having our own shit. Right
they
now.
already doing that without us even trying to. They doing it with the cops. So what you think they ain't gonna do it with the what's that, camouflage boys?
I mean, and they'll do it legally. I think that's one of the
that's
biggest.
What I'm saying.
They'll do it
they
legally.
Can do it, and they would do it, and they would put it on camera and tell us why they did it legally.
Mm-hmm. I mean, you have, and that's why, like, as much as because I have a lot of black separatist friends, and we've argued over this over the years. But it's like you can't separate unless we just go lead the country. Like you're gonna have to change the system and at least put some separation. Like, look, you can't come in all this craziness that y'all trying to do. You can't do it over in these areas over here. And because I mean, just like other groups. The Chinese, Jewish people, they all have their very powerful lobbies that make sure, like, y'all not gonna come over here in our neighborhoods and start this, disenfranchising our people. But then our black politicians, of a lot of them have been the first to like sell out or saying, well, this is the best we can do, You should be satisfied with this ATM on 38th Street that's sitting in a parking lot and that bank's been redlining y'all and only loaned to 4.5% of black people for the last few years. Because that's a serious. I'm not speaking hypothetical. That's what's going on.
No, that's real facts.
That's good, man. I think that what y'all both alluded to, like it's still we got to find a way, but we still have to. The ways that we are living now still have to be comparable to where we're going. But we can't separate the two. It's like it's the law of duality essentially. You can't have one without the other.
Real talk.
Because if we like to your point, because to expand your point about we got 30 million black people on. Let's say we take over Canada, right? 30 million black people go to Canada. We here, but we still have the mindset and the heart set of being impoverished in America and oppressed in America. And without having some type of infrastructure and structure to be able to replace the miseducation of us as Negroes. Shout out to Carter G. Woodson. To be able to implement something new. And then also with the new age of the era of having instant gratification. Oh, we here now. It's all of us here. We got to get it now. It doesn't work like that. Anything that's worth building takes time.
Yeah.
Like a baby, like when you start families, like that act of physical intimacy is a split second, but it takes 9 months or so for that baby to be developed in the womb.
Yep.
And then you have to raise that child for X amount of years. Forever.
You don't never stop.
I don't have children, so cuz speak to it.
Yeah, you
You
never
don't have
stop.
any children, do you?
Nah.
Why so to have any children?
Man, I got parents though. Shit.
We do. Yeah, we do got parents.
So if your mama,
my mama, definitely my mama. My daddy, definitely my pops, for sure.
I call my mama to this day. Shit, mama, mama, I'm still your baby. You gotta take care of me. Shit.
My mama, for real, just dropped off a check because she want me to do something. She want to take care of something on my house.
See,
that's dope.
That's forever, man. You gotta raise them
And it
forever.
should be, and we it's a sidebar. We got to stop shaming each other for having family involvement. Like, oh, you a grown man, or you a grown woman? Why you got bro? Like, why do you think the Creator made it that way?
Yeah.
Biblically, it says to be faithful over the few.
Yeah.
In my opinion, that few is your family.
Real shit.
So why ain't you rocking with your family through and through? Everybody can't go. We all know that. Everybody can't go. But the ones that can go, like behind the camera, shout out to my cousin Sean. He behind the camera, helping switch the camera angles. He said he interested in doing a podcast. All right, cuz, pull up. We're gonna make it make sense. And if we had more people that just were intentional about just taking the hand of somebody in their family and lifting them up and walking along with them, and also reaching up to an elder to get some wisdom from them, the world would be a way better place.
Yeah.
Instantaneously.
Yeah.
Man, I don't know how y'all feeling, fellas. How y'all feeling, man? It's been a powerful episode, man. It's been powerful. I think it's one of the best ones we ever had, brother.
Yeah, man.
Oh,
This
thank
is
you.
dope.
Thank you.
Wildstyle, yeah, you amazing, brother. A true
Man.
inspiration.
Thank you.
real.
Y'all
For
too,
sure.
man.
Yeah.
This is dope. Y'all got this thing going on because I don't know how old y'all are, but I know I wasn't talking that intelligently.
Man, you know this, man, man, bro, you know, Brian Carter and Mike and all them, man, a lot of people in BMG, man, they thought I was 37, 38. I said, God damn. Man, I said, I got to go find the fountain of youth. I said, damn, I got to go find the fountain of youth if people thinking I'm around that old. It's not even saying that's old, but that's like, it don't be aging me. I'm only 31. You know what I mean? That's all I'm saying.
32 of them things.
You know,
what
and I feel like, you know, that's a good age. And let me age and get to that age. I'm like, hey, look, hey, you know. But like I tell people, man, it's what everybody went through. So it's everybody life experience different. Shit, you had to go through what you had to go through to get to where you thinking now.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And each probably at 31, you would have got a message. You have been lost it in the head because at certain ages I would have lost it in my head. So I be telling people it's just all a walk through life. But before we end, this is what I wanted to say. This is my biggest thing, and I know I say this, but I want people to keep reminding this. Me and you, we both activists. We both people in the pillars and community doing things, but our styles and the way we do it is different. I connected with you because I want to keep showing people that we all, just because me and you different, you a Christian, I ain't no Christian at all. You know what I mean? To be honest, I feel like Christianity is one of the reasons our downfalls. You know what I mean? And, you know, so, but I don't take my personal beliefs and be like, nah, fuck that. I ain't having no Christian on my podcast. No, because you can connect with that Christian, that black Christian who's a black man who need to do better. Yeah. So I'm bringing you so you can connect with him because we all are black and we need to push the needle forward because that was the problem. I know I told you this already, but on W.E. Du Bois, Booker T, Marcus Garvey, all of them was living at the same time. The problem was they didn't get together because they had differences, which was making us, we as black folks, if you look at history at the time, black folks, we wasn't like these Europeans. We didn't have one king ruling all of us. Hell nah. Your king is your king, my king is my king. I dress like I dress, but we still need to be one. We still got respect for each other. And so I feel like we need to bring that recipe back to get black folks together, man. So that's why, one reason why I always bring people who have different perspectives onto the podcast, because not only it unifies us, it can help waking up somebody who probably couldn't hear it through my speech. Probably they can hear it through your point of view too. And the goal is to get black folks to move forward. Fuck your personal opinions. I don't care how nobody feel. Fuck your personal opinions. We trying to get it and go forward.
Ronnie has spoken. I approve that message. Hey, man, family, we appreciate y'all for tuning in to another episode of the Lead Your Lineage podcast. Make sure y'all like, share, and subscribe. Lead yourself so you can lead your lineage. Until next time, peace.
Peace.
Oh, that was fire.
Hey, thank y'all. Thank y'all for.
We still just now starting to get kicking things.